working on making some tools for banging out the front nose of the Karmann Ghia. It has a nose ridge on it that has been damaged like most Ghias. I've bought a couple pieces of solid bar here. This is just mild steel. One of these is hot rolled and one's cold rolled. This looks like it's the cold rolled one. I think this one over here is hot rolled. I don't really care. They're the sizes that I was interested in, and the cold roll or the hot rolled over here is 44 hundredths or 440 thousandths. This is 500 thousandths, so this is half an inch. This is slightly less than half an inch. It looks to me like the nose ridge is slightly less than half an inch on the inside, so maybe that's a metric dimension, I'm not sure. So I'm going to use this and this bar here. I'm going to carve out a groove in this. I'm going to insert this, I'm going to put a radius on this and then weld it into here. Use my files here to contour the outsides of that. This thing is going to have some shape to it this way. We're going to have a bar with shape in it this way. We'll cut a groove in here, weld in the bar, file down the welds so that everything is nice and smooth. So this will be the inside shape of the nose. I've got another piece of bar stock here, and we will file in a relief that's the opposite shape of this one. And my hope is that we can hammer with one tool and use the other tool as an anvil on the outside. And with any luck, we'll be able to straighten out our bead on the sheet metal on the nose and have a really pretty looking nose without a whole lot of Bondo in it at the end. Our first operation here is using our Super Duty file, and this one's full of crud, as you can see, but this came out of a big box of files that my grandpa used to use. This is a pretty big file. It's 1/4 inch thick, probably a good 12 inches of cutting surface on it, and so we're filing down the top of this to get a nice even surface. Whoever cut this piece didn't quite get it square. It's kind of squaring up now, so I'll square it and then I'll come back and give it a radius both ways, and it'll be not a polished surface, but it'll be really smooth surface when I get done. This is a single cut file here. I've also got a double cut file back over on my pile of files there. Some of them are a little faster than others. The double cut, I think, gives us a little faster cut, plus it allows you to kind of move it in two directions. But for now, we use the big one. I've cleaned up the top surface here with our big file. I cleaned the file up because it actually has, in this side, some glue on it, which was just making the file cruise right over the top of the metal. This side didn't have any glue, but it had some paint. I removed all the paint. It cut a lot better that way. So we're flat on top here. Now we're going to start to radius the top of this thing so that it follows the car and we won't put any tool marks in the car. Alright, I took a grinder and got our rough shape. The file was taking a little too long. This steel's pretty hard. Again, I think this is the hot roll or cold roll. I can't remember. This is the harder steel. So the file was taking a little while to cut. But we've put a radius on the top. I don't know if you can see that too well because I've also eased the edges, which makes the radius not look too bad. So flat across this way, radius this way. I just held it up to the car, and this radius up here works inside. So now we get to cut the center groove here, and I filed it, or ground it, filed it. Then I took 80 grit sandpaper, and you can see it's not a mirror polish yet, but it's pretty smooth. I don't think I need to worry about the scratches in it because we're not worried about that level of finish, especially from the inside of the vehicle. So I'll cut the groove in here, and we will insert one of these bars. I've got my bottom piece here. I've got my top piece here. You can see I've flattened part of the bottom of this to get the clearance I want. So my profile, get down there nice, looks a lot like the bead on the nose ridge of the Ghia. So I'm happy with that. 1-inch bar with a, what size hole is this? 15/32 inch hole. Cut this maybe a little further up than the center, and then I'll file it out so that this tool will be the negative of that tool.
And each week, more than 125,000 people listen to Laser 105.9, 92.9 The Bold, and 1320 KLW.
Here's the final read on our nose ridge restoration tool. I've got a bottom die here with a round bar that's slightly less than 1/2 inch, bent on a little bit of a radius, and a piece of 1 inch by, I think it's 1¼ inch stock, hollowed out so that this round bar would fit. And it probably goes a little more than halfway into that bottom die. My top piece of stock, I drilled a, I can't remember what the size was. It was more than 3/8 but less than 1/2 inch hole. Then I used a grinder to grind off the rest of the chunks and bring it down to where it fits almost airtight there against the bottom die, and filed everything down, sanded it down to 180 grit so it won't leave tool marks. I also eased the inside edges of, let me get my finger here, of the corners here, because the corners on the nose ridge of the Ghia are smooth, so I eased those edges. Then I welded it all together on this piece of rebar here so that I can do this with one man and not have to have a friend come in and help me. And you can see it lines up pretty well just sitting here. So I think it took 17 inches of clearance on the bottom die to get inside the car, and that was about the maximum. Any more than that and it doesn't fit. The top really didn't need any. I needed about 22 inches clearance that way. So hopefully this tool will do its job and my nose ridge will look beautiful once again.